Tutti Frutti, again, that I purchased at my friendly local game store. The back of the tin really didn't tell me anything about it. I maybe should have gone online and looked for reviews, but I thought, I don't know, it wasn't too expensive. The art looked cute, 4-year and plus, so I thought, this way I can play with both of my daughters. I'll try it. Boy, do I regret buying this game. Tutti Frutti is a matching game, and that doesn't have to be bad. It's pretty much like Spotted, but less interesting and less fun. Let's see how it works. Well, the game comes with these tokens, which are really nice looking. These tokens show different dancing and otherwise rejoicing fruits that are all happy to be with one another. You spread them on the table. As you can see, these tokens are double-sided and they have different combinations of fruit on them. You spread it on the table so that they're all visible. Then each player grabs one randomly, or I don't know, they say assign one randomly. You can grab one, give them randomly before you spread all of them. Each player will have a token, and they're simply looking for a fruit that matches one of the fruits on their token. For example, here, cherry, cherry. When I get a match, I put them in such a way that the two matches are touching each other. Now I'm looking for this other guy here, and I'm already stuck again. I don't know where it would be. La la la. Oh yes, you can also flip them, otherwise you're doomed. So I find this one, and I put it there, the apple, and I put it there, the orange, and I put it there, and so on and so forth. It is pretty much like Spotted, in which there is, well, it's a simplified version, because Spotted you have several you're looking at and a single, several you're looking at from your card, and several you're looking at from a card that you're trying to acquire. Yeah, you have a single one that you're trying to match with somewhere on the board. There is a little bit of a dexterity element, because you can match either of the fruits that are visible on the extremities of your stack. But the problem is that if you play with young kids, then a stack like this in the hands of a 4-year-old is not that easy to manipulate. Chances are that something will happen and tears will start flow. So cognitively, yes, it's good for a 4-year-old, but the fact that somebody has coordination and larger hands has an advantage doesn't make it all that a friendly game for kids. So players will form these stacks of fruit, and it will continue like this, adding and adding until either all tokens have been taken from the board, or there are no tokens that can be taken, because it can entirely happen that the combination of fruits, the way people have added them to their stacks, will be such that at some point people look at the extremities and there's still tokens on the board and no tokens that can be added. So either all are assigned or none of the remaining tokens on the board can be assigned. The game is over. The player with the highest stack is the winner of the game. If after you check the highest stack you see that all the matches are correct, so that all tokens are in that pile are in pairs. This is Tutti Frutti. I play with my 4-year-old daughter. She didn't like it very much. I play with my 6-year-old daughter. She liked it even less. She renamed it Tutti Boring, because this idea of looking around, looking for something for a match that is not obvious to see. There are just other games. Well, first, it's not the deepest and most mind-blowing idea to start with, but for kids it can work, and we already have other games that do that much better. Spotted would be one such game. I Found It, I spell E-Y-E, also works better. That's also is more fun. The art is more fun, more pleasant. I like these tokens. The art on this one is pleasant enough, is nice enough, is fun enough. Who doesn't like a jumping, drooling, dancing, laughing pineapple? The tokens are good, but gameplay is just completely uninteresting. It has two other problems. One, again, is the amount of problems. So little kids will have a hard time keeping that stack straight. And the other problem is the fact that there is a luck element. Now, when we're talking about these cognitive games, we're trying to identify, there should be no luck element. It's about who can see the right match first, who can identify it first, like in Spotted. Not so much here, because there is another element. It may entirely happen that I formed a stack and that early on I get stuck with my stack. The fruits that are the extremity of my stack don't have any of the matches here. Well, it just so happens that the opponent was lucky and invested in other fruits that still have a lot of matches here. Look, with so many tokens that are paired differently on the tokens, it's impossible to keep track of how many are left on the table and what the opponent has invested on, what the configuration of your thing is. You're just going for the next match that you can see. It's impossible to plan. You go for the next match, and it may happen that I have a stack which is not bad but is not excellent. Say this is it, and then I just was unlucky enough that I lucked myself this way out, and now maybe there are no tokens like this, and then the game doesn't even really become, it's not a matching game anymore. It's not a game of speed, it's a game of pain, because there's one kid that is stuck there. It's impossible for that kid to make any matches, and the other kid leisurely goes around and forms a high stack, just because the other kid was lucky enough that the combination they got in the stack is one that allows for expansion, and another one got stuck, because again, the way the tokens are combined, unfortunately, doesn't give all players the same chances, and I've seen that happen. I've seen that happen of a kid getting locked out of the game early and the other kid still playing. So that's not good. That's not something that really works well when you play the game with kids. So big disappointment. I don't know, disappointment. My expectations were super high. I was curious, and this is not a game that I find interesting, nor that my daughters enjoyed. Even if it was a good matching game, we have better ones already out there. On top of that, there is the dexterity problem and the combination problem that makes the game even worse than it could otherwise be. And per se, it already wouldn't be mind-blowing, so the fact that it also has minuses added to what otherwise is a very average idea, well, it's not good.